My personal email use was fully above board. It was allowed by the State Department, as they have confirmed. But in retrospect, it certainly would have been better. I take responsibility. That was a mistake. I'm sorry about that. I take responsibility. And I'm trying to be as transparent as I possibly can.
Hillary Clinton first on MSNBC last week, then on ABC last night. Initially, she did not directly apologize after being asked by Andrea Mitchell if she were sorry for use of private email. But last night, apologizing in the answer she gave to David Muir of ABC News. So now that Mrs. Clinton has taken responsibility and apologized for her use of the private email server, will the Democrat frontrunner remain the frontrunner? For more, let's turn to our political panel. First, from Newsmax, Washington, noted Republican strategist Ford O'Connell. And joining us via Skype from Nashville, Tennessee, news director for the Tea Party News Network, Scottie Nell Hughes. So, it's kind of interesting to see what happens here, Scottie Nell. First, the kind of tiptoeing around an apology, and then last night, she said the words, "I'm sorry." Is it too little too late?
Well, it's about darn time. I mean, time and time again, she's made jokes about it. She joked about going on Snapchat and how it immediately deletes emails. She went in front of the UN and did a great press conference saying, yeah, there was nothing there. But now, and I think this has a lot to do with Bernie Sanders and the idea of Vice President Joe Biden getting in, and their numbers actually doing better than her or getting close to her in some of these key initial states, that has forced her to this apology tour.
So what about that, Ford? Is it all about her falling poll numbers? Did that prompt the apology?
Absolutely. She's not sorry about her email server. She's not sorry by the fact that she put national security at risk. She's sorry she got caught. She's sorry that it's dragging down her campaign. Right now in the Monmouth National poll, she's down to 42% support with Democrats. And believe it or not, Joe Biden, who's more likable and more trustworthy, has jumped into second place over Bernie Sanders. She's hearing Biden's footsteps, and she's trying to cut off the head of the Biden train before it, basically overruns her.
All right, so it goes with the Democrats. Let's turn to the other side of the aisle, specifically Dr. Ben Carson. He wrote an op-ed for our parent website, Newsmax.com, addressing his soft-spokenness, saying it's a strength, not a weakness. It's interesting. The good doctor never mentions Donald Trump by name, but clearly seems to be positioning himself as the conservative, softer-spoken version of Trump. Ford, is that a fair assessment?
I think it's a fair assessment. Ben Carson is possibly the biggest Trump slayer out there. And I do think that he's right that being soft-spoken is a strength for him, but he has to keep the momentum going. Two things he has. He's seen by principled, by evangelicals and female voters, and he has a likability of a net 70, which basically is worth his weight in gold. So if Ben Carson can hit it out of the park in the second debate, he could really give Donald Trump a run for his money.
Now, a likability quotient, net 70%, plus 70%. That is huge. What about it, Scottie Nell? Likeable guy, great intellect, and yes, a soft-spoken political manner to go with his bedside manner. Will that add up to a winning combination for the good doctor?
I don't know necessarily long term, but right now it seems to be working for him. Let's ask this question. The reason why we know who Ben Carson is because he spoke up right in front of President Obama at a prayer breakfast. We would have no idea who Dr. Ben Carson really was unless he would have had that great fateful moment. So to sit here and now start taking this idea, well, I'm a soft-spoken person, I don't think that will last for him good long term. The other issue is I think this is the reason why he's popular. Ford mentioned two reasons. I think it's actually the establishment. The establishment has tried everything within the party to take Donald Trump down and failed. So now they're going to use their own people against him. So people like Ben Carson rising the popularity takes away from Donald Trump. And then they know once they start bringing out some of the record points like gun control, immigration.
But let me, mindful of that, Scottie Nell.
Scottie, Ben Carson's a threat to Donald Trump because Donald Trump is saying that Ben Carson's a threat, and he's saying that Ben Carson isn't qualified. This isn't an establishment conservative thing. This is about the outsider status and who actually has that mantle. And right now, Ben Carson's doing a great job.
No, he's doing a great job. He's doing what you guys have tried. He's trying to do what Jeb, what Kasich, and others have failed to do. They can't do anything. Even Bobby Jindal today launched an attack against Donald Trump, talking about winning and how Charlie Sheen and him had a lot in common. That is the whole goal now of those in the establishment candidates who can't get any traction with the American people. Let's start using people like Cruz, like you talked about in a previous segment, JD, about making Cruz seem like he's an enemy. Huckabee yesterday at the Kentucky rally. Now they're going to try to show that the conservative votes are all kind of going up against Trump. And that's far from the truth. These guys really do get along.
Scottie, I am neutral in this crapshoot. I don't know where this comes from. I do understand that some people on the establishment side, donors, want to take Donald Trump down. But Donald Trump right now is setting the pace and riding high. And the only person who can Donald Trump right now is Donald Trump himself. And
in the final analysis, it's every candidate for himself or herself. Thanks, panel. As you know, the good doctor's rising in the polls, and Dr. Ben Carson has a book, One Nation. You can get your copy free, just pay handling. You can call 1-800-655-7567 or go to newsmax.com/Ben.